Hi everybody, this is Ophelia once again, and today we are going to talk about adaptation. Adaptation is a word that if you've lived long enough you have been hearing from time to time, and it normally comes into play when there is change. And although we may not notice it, change is always happening. Sometimes it is subtle, and it is continuous, and it is very small, so we tend not to pay much attention to it. But when something happens suddenly, when change happens suddenly, then that is when we notice, and that is when it becomes challenging for us. And in the face of change, in the face of adversity, it is often difficult to cope. But we should always remember that adversity, if we know how to deal with adversity, if we know how to adapt, it will make us stronger. It was the great Bruce Lee who said, and I quote, "You must be shapeless, formless, like water. When you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. When you pour water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. When you pour water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can drip, and it can crash. Be like water, my friend." End of quote. That quote is by the late Bruce Lee. And I want you to think of yourself as the water. And I want you to think of the bottle, the teapot, the cup as life or your circumstances. And so when there is change, when whatever situation you find yourself in, you have to be able to adapt and be flexible like water. At first, when sudden change, when chaos occurs in our life, it is easy for us to do the first thing. It is natural for us to do the first thing and start resisting and start cursing and start being angry, anxious, scared. That is not natural for us. But what we have to do is realize that we cannot continue like that. So when something catastrophic happens, it's not that we're gonna get over it immediately, but we have to find a way to cope. We have to adapt to our situation. And so the key is not to resist, but to adapt and become in sync with what is happening, meaning you adjust in time and in the manner in which you operate. Because when we fight against our circumstances, we create more chaos. But when we relax our minds and really reflect on what is happening to us, our situation, we are better able to figure out where we are, what is happening, and what we need to do. For example, you might suffer some loss. You may have suffered some loss, whether it's, a job, a relationship, a loved one, whatever it is. But I want to bring it down to one example where let's say you lost your job. At first, this is going to throw you into a state of panic. You're going to think of all the financial demands that you have, family responsibilities. You might have a mortgage. You might have your credit card debts. And you have your rent. If you don't have more, you might have your rent. You have all of these expenses and you lost your job. And this is going to make you panic at first. And you're emotionally, you'll have feelings of anger towards whoever fired you, or you might feel anxious, fearful, and physically your body is going to feel like you feel weak. You're going to feel weak. You might be trembling, wondering, what is it you're going to do. So, and mentally, you are trying to figure out what happened and how you're going to respond to it. But you have to, in order for you to do this, there are 3 things I want to give to help you in terms of a catastrophic change, a chaotic change where you suffered something great, unexpected that is going to affect you. I have 3 suggestions for you. So first, you try to simplify the situation as much as possible by focusing on what is. So you're basically going to say, well, this is my situation. I've lost my job. I have all of these bills to pay. I have all of this to take care of. And that is the situation. And you're trying not to focus on what should have been. So while it's okay to vent, because it's not going to be easy, you would have vented and all of that, but at some point you have to accept what is and stop dwelling on what should have been. So you are present. You're in sync with your situation. You're adapting to your situation. And after you would have simplified it and say, well, this is my situation. I've lost my job. And I have my expenses. I need to get a job. I need to do something to get back, to that life that I had where everything was okay. So the next thing you want to do is to adapt in terms of your lifestyle. Look at your situation. See what you need to do in order to adapt, to adjust. Whether you have to downsize in terms of whatever, if you were renting for $1,000, you might have to downsize because your emergency funds, it would not last forever. Let's say you have emergency funds, so you have to downsize, or if it means that you have to move out of your rented apartment to go and live with someone, hopefully that would not be the case, but so it's like you stop buying all the things that you were buying. And in terms of entertainment, if you were going out all the time, you lost your job, you can no longer focus on entertainment. So you basically adapt to your lifestyle, to your current situation. And the third point is to react. So in terms of reacting now, you have to be flexible. As the situation occur, you deal with them. So you try not to look too much into the future because this is going to make you more anxious. So you deal with situations as they occur, and you don't quit. You may feel overwhelmed, you're going to feel overwhelmed, but try not to let whatever it is that has happened to get the better of you. So those were the 3 points I wanted to bring out in terms of moving forward. When you're facing a difficult situation, you simplify the situation, you adapt to the situation in terms of your lifestyle, you're making the necessary changes, and you react to things as they occur. But another thing I want to make point to is that you have to as Bruce Lee was saying, Bruce Lee said in his quote, you be like water, you know. So this is your situation. What are you going to do about it? You're not just going to sit and react, but you're going to take an active role in changing your situation. So you're being flexible. For instance, you lost your job, you're going to immediately start, well, after you finish venting, you have to get up and say, well, okay, I'm going to start looking for a job. You might find yourself looking for a job, you're looking for a job and you're not getting anything. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You have to constantly adjust. So meanwhile you're looking for the job, your mind is thinking, you're imagining other things. You're trying to be productive by thinking productively. You're letting go of all that, the stress, all whatever happened. Don't waste time complaining about how bad the boss was and whatever and what. Just focus on yourself and getting back to that point where you can function. So if you cannot get your job, you're looking and you cannot get a job, think about things that you can do to help yourself. What are your talents? What is it that you love to do? And whatever resources you have, whether it's a little money, put aside your talent, which is your human resource. You have to work with what you have. So you are being flexible, you are adapting, you're being resilient, you're bouncing back after that chaos, the fact that you lost your job. You're bouncing back and you're saying, okay, I'm looking for a job, but in the meantime I'm trying to think of something I can do to help myself. Because sometimes it's like you will be there, you're looking for a job and you can't get anything because people are not hiring. So what do? You can't sit down and wait forever and somebody to offer you a job. So you start thinking to yourself, what is it that I can do? You simplify your situation. What is it that I can do? What are my talents? What are the things that I can do that can be of value to someone so that I can earn an income from it? And it's and as I said before, adversity actually, it makes you stronger. And sometimes these things happen not to cause us to really be like, okay, quit and just finish away with everything, but they happen to strengthen us and to cause us to look in another direction. Because sometimes we have a job and we don't even like it, and our boss fire us and we're still fretting about it even though we did not like it. But sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Your boss fire you, you didn't like the job, it's a blessing in disguise. See it as a blessing in disguise. At first you might struggle with finance and all of that, but look after a while, after you finish venting, look at it and say, well, this is an opening for me to become stronger, for me to take another direction. I hated my job, so now I am going to do what I love to do. I am going to take the first step into finding out what it is that I love to do, my purpose in life, and look at what the things that I have talent in and try to practice those things. So if you love writing, if you love singing, if it is that whatever it is that you love, you start paying attention to it and you start building on that on a daily basis. And you ignore the voices in your head that are saying, oh, well, the boss this and the boss, the ex-boss this. Just forget about what happened and dwell on what is. Dwell on what is. Remember that. Don't go down the path over and over again about your boss. After a while, you have to move on. Move on and start being flexible. Be like water. Be flexible. Adjust to your current situation and stop thinking about what was. Let whatever was be and whatever happened spur you on to your destiny, because you have to take responsibility for your life. And don't let anybody determine how your life is going to be for you. So if your boss fire you, it's not the job wasn't you. He didn't fire, he took his job away from you, but he didn't take you away from you. So you still have yourself, which is the most important thing, because you are your most important resource. What is it that you can do to help yourself move out from that whatever situation you are, and start looking at ways to improve yourself and adjusting to your situation as it comes? You adjust. Try not to worry too much about what is going to be down the road. Don't worry about that. As you start whatever is it that you're starting to do, you will find that you will start thinking more productively, and you will have more great ideas. You're going to have greater ideas. So stop wasting time thinking about what should have been, and start working towards what you can do to improve yourself. That's all for today, folks. I thank you very much, and if you love this video, if anything I said resonate with you, I want you to take the steps to start doing something good for yourself. Start looking at yourself as something great. Be like water. Be flexible. Don't drip now. Start crashing. If you have to crash, you crash. If you have to jip, you jip, because there are times when you're going to lose your energy. But whatever you do, do not quit. So if you love this video, please subscribe if it's on YouTube. If you're viewing it on Facebook, please share it with someone who needs some inspiration, might have lost their job or lost something and wants to get back on their feet. Please share it. And remember to visit my website, cupidandI.com. And you can visit my fan page, cupidandI.com's motivational blogs and poems. Once again, I thank you and all the best in your future endeavor. Remember, positive energy always. Bye. Until next time.